I wrote that during lunch, and then I had a conversation with some of our writers and producers, and I was just writing it as like a therapy thing, but then I was like talking to them, I was like, yeah, you're right, I'll put it in. And then one of our producers, Gabby, slid it in for me, so that was a trust fall in everyone's hands.
Nah, that was great.
Okay, so that was not a spur of the moment emotional type thing by one of the hosts on the show. That was scripted. Not only was it scripted, it was G4 pushed, approved, and set forward. So we'll keep that under consideration as we go forward and we see what the hosts and what G4 has to say to us, the fans of G4 TV.
You're watching G4. I'm game.
Okay, so G4 TV's put out a video the other day. You can find it here on YouTube, and you can find it on other social media platforms. And it was from Attack of the Show. It seems that the host, Frost, had a little bit of a meltdown. Now, I'm not too familiar with Frost, so we're going to listen to what the host has to say, and then we'll go from there. We'll see what the controversy is, and then we'll discuss it and maybe look a little more into it. Let's listen to Frost.
But I actually want to talk about something so much more important than Red Dead Online. Sexism in gaming. In joining G4...
This is not where I thought we were going, but I'm here.
I had no idea.
I'm listening.
Yeah.
In joining G4, I was ecstatic to be part of something that I grew up watching as a child. But every time G4 is brought up in various channels, even in this YouTube channel, we have the chat in front of us, I can see you, without a doubt, there will be backlash because I'm not as bangable as the previous hosts. It's somehow...
Talk to him, Frost!
It has somehow been expected that you can talk about how much you jerked off to women as a compliment.
That
It's
shit
not
weird.
a compliment.
It's weird.
It's dehumanizing and it's weird. Women do not exist to be nice on the eyes for you. Morgan Webb, Olivia Munn did not exist to be nice on the eyes for you.
Hey, she cooking, y'all.
And that's just obvious sexism. You don't need to explicitly objectify women or declare that you hate women to be sexist. Just go ahead and check out Thorne's latest meltdown on Twitter for some spark notes. Now, here at XPlay, our reviews are written and produced by a team of people. There are too many games for one person to shoulder the burden. So we divide and conquer. And when we use language like we or I, that's the reviewer. That's coming from the mouth and experience of the reviewer reading that review. And that's not to say that Gerard, TBH, Adam, or myself don't contribute to the reviews. We absolutely do. But it'll always be in varying degrees and take a whole team behind us. That's why we're XPlay and not Adam Play. We have done the experiment and controlled for the variables. Adam will read a script written by the same writer that I will read the other half of the script for, but I'll be the one flamed. And yeah, it also happens to Gerard and TBH, but that doesn't discount the sexism of how it happens to me when it does. Both things can be true, that there is a general hatred of any change that isn't Adam, and that I'll receive special flame just for being a woman. And I wish I could turn the camera around so that you could see the incredible team that make XPlay. Half of our producers and writers are women. Emily, Abby, Megan, Joe, Jake, Zipper, Gabby. It goes on and on and on. Former writers that are now on ATOS like Vanessa. When you're in our DMs or on those YouTube comments or in Twitch chat right now, those reactionary threads thinking that I'm somehow ruining your current XPlay experience because you can't objectify me how you previously did to Morgan, or that I'm somehow less qualified to speak on something, but you can't quite put your finger on why, even though I'm reading the exact same script as Adam, but you have no problem with he's part of it. You're letting your unconscious biases ruin my day, and you're gatekeeping the gaming space. So maybe for 2022, we be a bit nicer, a bit more self-reflective, and we enjoy the fact that people are working hard to make free content for you. If you don't like it, don't watch it. Peace.
Hey, I gotta wrap you up. I gotta wrap her up. Can I just say I feel bad for you?
I don't need to go. I don't need to. Frost, I don't need to go. Don't. We're good. I'm good. I'm good. That was the best it's ever gonna get out of us. I don't need to go. Thank you, Frost.
Yeah, it's okay. And I'm sorry. They didn't know that I was going to do this. I wrote that during lunch, and then I had a conversation with some of our writers and producers, and I was just writing it as like a therapy thing, but then I was like talking to them, I was like, yeah, you're right. I'll put it in. And then one of our producers, Gabby, slid it in for me. So that was a trust fall on everyone's hands.
Nah, that was great.
That's why we do it live.
I could not agree more. Yeah. Yeah, and it's also just to add one extra thing, Frost. For anyone out there who thinks that I did not have some input in wanting to work with the three people that are in that studio, and I mean really want to work with them, you're absolutely crazy. So if you think that you're buttering me up by making fun of them or saying that you don't think they're good, I think it's much smarter for you to just eat shit. All right?
Yeah,
all right,
madam.
there we go. Frost, I want to give you a hug from all the way up here. I want to give all three of you a hug from all the way up here. You just, finally 2022 feels like it's starting. All right. Forgive us for the segue here, but you know what?
Okay, I understand why some people are a bit perturbed about what Frost, Attack of the Show, and G4 have to say to their viewers and fans. Go ahead and consider me one of those people that are not happy with what I just heard, and I disagree with their assessment of us, the viewer and fan of the show. Alright, but let's take this point by point and look a little closer at the message that G4 and Frost and these hosts have for us.
Sexism in gaming. In joining G4...
This is not where I thought we were going,
I know,
but I'm here.
They had
I'm
no
here.
idea.
I'm listening.
Yeah.
In joining G4, I was ecstatic to be part of something that I grew up watching as a child. But every time G4 is brought up in various channels, even in this YouTube channel, we have the chat in front of us. I can see you. Without a doubt, there will be backlash because I'm not as bangable as the previous hosts. It's somehow...
Talk to him, Frost!
It has somehow been expected that you can talk about how much you jerked off to women as a compliment.
That
It's
shit weird.
not a compliment.
It's weird.
It's dehumanizing and it's weird. Women do not exist to be nice on the eyes for you. Morgan Webb, Olivia Munn did not exist to be nice on the eyes for you.
Okay, so staffing, we have her first point. We have current employees commenting on former employees, and Adam Sessler's there as well. He's not only a current, but also a former employee. So let's take a little look at this and see if there's any discrepancies. When G4 was first starting out, they were like any other business, right? You have to hire talent, and you have to get people in and do things that can hopefully separate you from your competition and help you succeed and grow. So first thing you want to do when hiring is look at resumes and portfolios. Try to thin the pool down a little bit and get some candidates in that you want to interview. So let's start with looking at the portfolios of some of the ladies that G4 elected to hire and what they were looking for in their criteria. And start there, see if there's any discrepancies in what these current employees are preaching to us and trying to lecture us about, and what the former employees were saying and the messaging they were giving to us at that time. So let's take a look, because you might not remember, or you might not have been watching G4 back in the day. You might not be old enough, okay? This is, what, 20 years ago? This is a long time ago, so you might not even have been born yet. So let's get you caught up a little bit and look at these portfolios. Okay, so now that we have our candidate selected that we want to talk to, we're going to call them in for an interview because, of course, you know, a portfolio and a resume can't actually have a conversation with you, and you can't get into that their thinking that way. So you got to bring them in and have a little sit down and face to face. So let's see. She called out Morgan Webb and Olivia Munn in particular. So let's hear what they have to say about what their role is and what they are there to do. All right, let's take a look.
We're doing a little shoot for November issue of FHM. It's the Games and Technology issue, so that's where I come in.
She loves video games. She reviews video games on her show, and you know, we just thought that she'd be a great addition to the issue.
No problem. That's what I was made for.
You're outnumbered and outgunned. What are you gonna do?
This.
Okay. All right. I think I found some conflicts in what current employees are telling us about what the former employees' job roles and their duties entailed. So I think Frost here is just full of crap and doesn't know what they're talking about. However, what's more important is what our tech overlords are telling us. So we know right now they're in their ivory tower telling us plebs, us unwashed masses, on how to properly treat the women and what we're doing wrong and how we need to correct our behavior. But, you know, we're just some dumb yokels. We don't know. We're just plebs. So we are going to look toward our tech overlords at the time. What did they do? They're going to show us the way. How do we go down the path they went down? How did they build their brand? How did they separate themselves from the competition? How did they treat their most valued employees? I feel that I owe myself more research into this topic, and I feel that I owe you, the viewer, more research into this. So let's take a look at what G4 was doing at the time.
Why are we still here? Just to suffer? Every night, I can feel my leg, and my arm, even my fingers. The body I've lost.
I just think that this is a phenomenal shoot for us. You know, Morgan loves video games. Our reader loves video games. You know, FHM gets letters all the time from readers wanting to know, hear more about video games, and they just love video games. They love sexy women. Morgan is absolutely beautiful, and I think that when you put a beautiful woman in a bikini in front of video game monitors, it's sure to be a good seller.
You have to be very careful. It's very dark in here. It's dangerous. Watch
I'll be reading the stage direction whenever you're ready.
All right.
Oh, Strawberry, I can't wait to plow your fields.
Oh, James, you had me at plow.
They embrace.
Oh, James! Oh, look at that! Oh, you're so hot!
That's not in the script.
Gun is so big, and by gun I mean penis. Yeah, you like that? Oh!
Thank you, thank you,
Oh,
thank
yeah,
you, thank you.
James, don't stop. Don't you stop at all, you dirty penis.
Oh,
don't
no, thank you.
ever stop, you, James, ever.
Thanks, thank you. Okay, that's all we need.
Oh yeah, one more thing I wanted to run by you guys. The name Strawberry Fields, I think, really only works if you're really a redhead, if you know what I mean. So I came up with some other names, like Emma Thunderpussy, Jessica Vag Murder, Cynthia Snatchington.
That's enough.
Maria St. Uterus.
No, thank you.
Giganto a lot. It's a good one. Like, just use it in a sentence. Like, hello, governors, I'm Giganto a lot. Why don't you me in my a lot? You know,
Security.
just all night long. Oh, yeah. Security! From behind. Next nothing. Oh, so hot. It's so hot and so hot. I'm recreating famous scenes from famous movies. This is from Weird Science. Do you guys remember Kelly LeBrock comes out of the closet looking all hot? There's smoke behind her. Apparently I'm wearing teeny tiny boy panties. Tia Carrera, who I actually loved from Wayne's World. And so this is for her scene when she's playing in her music video, Fast Times at Ridgemont High. There is a famous scene where Phoebe Cates comes out of a pool in a red bikini and she proceeds to take off the top. Now it's time to see how I stack up.
She's great.
It helps me just say guap. 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 Not my fingers. Get my glove out of there. Guap. Guap. And get it in. Get it in. Come on, we got it. We got it. Let it be mine, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go. Ron dog it. Oh!
Oh!
That's okay.
Okay, well that's enough research on G4TV and how they treated their employees and how much respect they showed to the women of G4TV back in the early 2000s. I don't think I'm going to be taking advice from G4TV and the people running and working at G4TV on how I should feel about women and treat women. I think they have... they've said enough and they've influenced all of us enough as we were growing up on how women should be treated in their opinion. Alright, let's go on to another point that she was trying to make.
Every time G4 is brought up in various channels, even in this YouTube channel, we have the chat in front of us. I can see you. Without a doubt, there will be backlash because I'm not as bangable as the previous hosts. It's so...
Alright. Calling out the internet. When has that ever backfired against anyone? Let's see where she's going to go with this.
We divide and conquer, and when we use language like we or I, that's the reviewer. That's coming from the mouth and experience of the reviewer reading that review. And that's not to say that Gerard, TBH, Adam, or myself don't contribute to the reviews. We absolutely do. But it'll always be in varying degrees and take a whole team behind us. That's why we're X-Play and not Adam Play. We have done the experiment and controlled for the variables. Adam will read a script written by the same writer that I will read the other half of the script for, but I'll be the one flamed. And yeah, it also happens to Gerard and TBH, but that doesn't discount the sexism of how it happens to me when it does. Both things can be true, that there is a general hatred of any change that isn't Adam, and that I'll receive special flame just for being a woman. And I wish...
Alright, so she's got the audacity to impugn the motive of the internet. Who does she think she is? I mean, honestly, she talks about how it's a team effort there and how all these reviews are handled by different people, there are different writers, and how everybody speaks from their own point of view and has their own input. And that's fine on their end. I agree with that. Everybody does have their own input. Sure. But she doesn't extend that to the people that are criticizing her. Listen, people on the internet criticizing you aren't doing it just because of misogyny or because of sexisms or any of that kind of stuff, okay? You can't just impugn somebody's motives like that without having a valid reason to or some type of evidence, okay? People have different experiences. They come from different points of views, and they might be criticizing you for different things for different reasons. People have varying criticisms because, you know, everybody has different likes and different dislikes. So they're going to like things that other people don't, or they're going to dislike things that other people don't, and they're going to let you know. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with the way they feel. There's nothing wrong with the way you feel. Everybody's entitled to feel the way they feel and should be allowed to express those feelings. Let me provide a little bit of criticism so that you can see that this is not misogyny or sexisms or anything like that. This is just my opinion.
That Gerard, TBH, Adam, or myself, and I wish I could turn the camera around so that you could see the incredible team that make X-Play. Half of our producers and writers are women. Emily, Abby, Megan, Joe, Jake, Zipper, Gabby. It goes on and on and on. Former writers that are now on ATOS like Vanessa.
Okay, so you have a pretty big team over there at G4TV. You listed off many people there, and as you said, it goes on and on and on. Well, I imagine with all those writers and producers that you guys have on staff over there, you also have 1 or 2 editors on hand, right? So you guys aren't doing your own writing, you guys aren't producing your own content, and you guys aren't even doing all of your editing if you're doing any editing. So I'm just kind of wondering exactly what everybody's position is over there, since you're telling us what other people's positions are. Kind of let us know what you're doing, because my criticism is it seems that your content's kind of lazy, to be honest with you. Most of what I've seen on G4TV, which I was excited about G4TV coming back. I loved G4TV when I was a kid. There was only 2 things I was interested in when I was a kid, and that was sports and gaming. If there wasn't a ball game or a practice, or if boys didn't want to play either basketball, baseball, or football, then you could find me online or on the PlayStation. So when I found G4TV, it was like a gaming channel for gamers, and that's what it was. That's all it was, and I loved it. Of course, I was a kid. It's kind of easy to impress kids, so I don't know, but I was a big fan. I loved it, so I was looking forward to G4TV coming back. But you guys just aren't putting out the same kind of content that you did in 2003. Yet you seem to expect for praise to be heaped upon you, and if you receive any criticism, then you just don't take it well, and you want to say that every criticism, in your words, comes from misogyny or sexism, and that's just absolutely ridiculous. I mean, honestly, G4 hosts are beginning to sound like sitting members of Congress.
Quote, if Republicans are mad they can't date me, they can just say that, instead of projecting their sexual frustrations onto my boyfriend's feet.
Okay, seriously. Skill Up and the Angry Joe Show come to mind. There's a lot of good gaming channels on YouTube, but these 2 were just the first 2 to come to my mind when thinking about gaming channels. I like their content. I've seen a lot of their content. These guys do skits like G4 used to do. However, these guys do their own research. They play the games. They watch the movies. They consume the content that they want to criticize or discuss. They have the time to do it. I know you guys over at G4 don't have the time to do it with that massive staff. But these guys actually take the time to do it, and they pull all this stuff together on a much smaller staff than what you guys have over there at G4TV. Everyone online will get criticism, okay? One of my favorite channels on YouTube is The Internet Historian. I absolutely love this guy's content. It is great. But you know what? Even in his videos, if you go down to the comments section, he gets criticism from people. He does live streaming as well, and he gets criticism in his live streams, and he gets people trolling him, just like everyone else that's on the internet and creates content for people. It just comes with being online. I recommend that you just grow some thicker skin and learn to accept the criticism as you would the praise that you seek. Not everyone that's criticizing you has, improper intentions, okay? Some people might have good intentions as well. They want you to succeed. They're just offering critique to help you succeed. And again, this isn't misogyny or sexism. This is just my opinion.
This is not where I thought we were going, but I'm here.
I had no idea.
I'm listening.
Yeah.
Hey, she cooking, y'all. Hey, I gotta back you up. I gotta back her up.
Okay, well, let's also talk about the beta bros on the couch, shall we?
I'm good. That was the best it's ever gonna get out of us. I don't need to go. Thank you, Frost.
All right, well, if that's as good as it's going to get from those guys, then there's not really much left to say. Let's just skip past them and move along. All right, so next up we have Mr. Adam Sessler. Before we get started, I got a quick question for you guys that's always confused me. Bald people, when they're washing their face, where do they stop? Do they stop at the hairline they had when they were teenagers, or do they stop at the hairline they had in their 20s or 30s? Where do they stop? If you know, let me know. But Mr. Adam Sessler here, he, as I said earlier, is not just a current employee, he's a former employee. You know, he was around when Tech TV merged with G4 and eventually just became G4 and they dropped the tech part. He was back in the early 2000s and knows good and well what they were doing back then. As a matter of fact, wasn't this guy fired from X-Play? But you know, with that, it doesn't matter. We're talking about what the hosts here and what G4TV execs have to say to us about treating the women's. This guy and the execs at Tech TV are actually the worst people to lecture anyone on how to treat other people. They've shown time and time again that they absolutely fail when given the opportunity. Mr. Adam Sessler here, if he has a disagreement with you online or you don't agree with him 100%, he will absolutely be in favor of doxing you and sending people to harass you. So maybe this guy doesn't need to lecture all of us on how to treat the women's and how to be respectful of others when he has no idea how to be respectful himself.
You're absolutely crazy. So if you think that you're buttering me up by, you know, making fun of them or saying that you don't think they're good, I think it's much smarter for you to just eat shit. All right?
You serious?
Yeah, nobody's trying to butter you up, guy. I don't believe that at all. You should get over yourself. I think people are more likely just expressing their opinion, maybe doing a little bit of trolling. Deal with it, buddy. What a joke. But anyway, I'm tired of talking about these absolute beta males that they have working on Attack of the Show and X-Play over here at G4 right now. Let's move on to the last point that Frost made, which is probably her worst point, and let's just wrap this up and get out of here. This is just taking way too long dealing with this nonsense.
You're letting your unconscious biases ruin my day, and you're gatekeeping the gaming space. So maybe for 2022, we'd be a bit nice.
Wait a minute. Frost is sitting on Attack of the Show. They're sitting on G4 TV hosting a show. Who is gatekeeping? Look, nobody's gatekeeping from you, keeping you out. That's just insane to say. Look, because you don't put in the work, because you show up and you read a script that somebody's already written for you, and then somebody does your editing for you and puts it all together, produces it for you, and then uploads it for you, that's not them gatekeeping from you. That's you just being lazy and not putting in the effort that smaller, more successful channels do. Okay? Stop telling everybody else what they're saying is gatekeeping you. That's absolutely ridiculous.
Nicer, a bit more self-reflective, and we enjoy the fact that people are working hard to make free content for you. If you don't like it, don't watch it. Peace!
Alright, little free tip for you guys over at G4, for you Frost, and for your co-host over there. Condescending is probably not the best option to convince people to your point of view. So I would go ahead and stop doing that. I would not treat your fans and people that watch your content in such a way. I don't think that's going to encourage them to hang around and stick with you. That might encourage some people to just, go consume other content other than what you're putting out. All right, now, let's talk about this. It seems like you think that you're putting out this high quality content that's free for the internet or something like that. Are you people absolutely clueless over there at G4? Are you clueless, Frost? Are your co-hosts clueless? I don't get it. YouTube's free. Twitter's free. Instagram's free. All these social media and streaming platforms are free. Sure, they have paid subscriptions and stuff you can do for your favorite content creators, but it's a free service. pretty much everyone that creates content on the internet creates free content. That is nothing special at all. Typically, what most normal creators do is they say that, hey, if you are a subscribing member of the channel or whatever, if you're paying a subscription fee, we do extra content for you to reward you. We appreciate your support of the channel, so we want to give you more. They don't typically talk down to the people consuming their content and try to chastise them like their content is superior and that you need to be appreciative of their free content. Grow up and get real. But seriously, what an absolute terrible point. I mean, you really thought that was, oh, that's good. We got them on that. We're giving out this free content that everybody else. It's just, what a terrible, stupid point. Okay, so why did G4 fail originally, and why did they have to shut down? Let's talk about that for a second.
Cops is filmed on location with the men and women of law enforcement. All suspects are innocent until proven guilty in a court of law.
Okay, so there are many different reasons why businesses fail. It's usually not just one thing, it's multiple things that stack up. But the one big thing that G4 did, which caused their downfall, was they forgot they were a gaming channel for gamers, and they just quit covering gaming stuff. So they lost their fan base. A lot of people just moved on because they didn't go to G4 to watch Cops and stuff like that. They went there to watch gaming content, and that was gone. And now we're seeing that with what's going on with G4 now. You guys need to stay focused on gaming and not so much getting distracted with social justice and being woke and stuff like that. That's not really what people want. People do gaming and want entertainment as an escapism, not because they want to deal with bullcrap that they have to deal with in real life. So hopefully G4 learns that lesson and they can get away from this and get back to creating content that their fans like and show loyalty to their fans as their fans have shown loyalty to them.
I'm at Comic-Con!